Okay, good morning, Math Fundamentals. Keisha and Isaac. It's good to be here with you. We are actually on 12.2 this morning. Let me double check. Make sure, yes. So yesterday you started working with positive and negative numbers. We call those integers, if I can remind you. And today we're going to actually be adding integers. This is some of the most important work that you can do because you're going to be using this in pre-algebra, and it's so important that we understand how to put together or add negative and positive numbers. This will stick with you for the rest of math, so it's a really important concept. I want to make sure that you understand it, that you ask for questions when you need help. So if you'll look at page 343 with me, and we'll work through this page together. Ashley went on a diet to lose weight. Consider her monthly weight change in the table below. So if you'll see that it gives you the table for the months. In January, how many pounds did she lose? 2. Do you see how it's -2? In February, she lost 3 pounds, -3. She went down 3 pounds. What happened in March? Okay, in March, she added a pound. She went +1 pound. And in April, she added 1 pound. So the question is how much did Ashley lose in the first 2 months? Okay, so what we're really saying is we're taking the -2 and we're adding it to the -3. And we're saying, well, how many pounds did she lose? Well, looking at that chart, I hope that you can see that she lost 5 pounds. Okay, but how does that work on a number line? Because this looks really confusing as a problem, doesn't it? So let's start on our number line at 0. Okay, and if we start here, because at this point she hadn't lost any, right? This was her starting point. And at first she lost 2 pounds. So let's go 1, 2. So -1, -2. And then she lost 3 more. So let's make 3 more jumps. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so -2, what would come here? -3, -4, -5. Okay, so how many pounds did she lose? Well, she lost, that's our negative number, she lost 5 pounds. Okay, so -2 plus -3 equals -5. Now, I want you to see that. When I add 2 negative numbers, I keep the negative sign, and I just added the numbers. What's 2 plus 3? 5. So if I add 2 negative numbers, then I keep the negative sign and I get it. And make sure you use a number line if that really helps you to see what you're doing. Now, Ashley lost 5 pounds in the first 2 months. How much did Ashley gain back in March and April? So we're wanting to do March and April. What was her gain? So in March, she had +1, and we want to combine that with her +2. Now that's a lot of writing. Can't we, when we have positive numbers, do we write that they're positive? No. That's an understood, right? So what's 1 plus 2? 1 plus 2 equals 3. So she gained back 3 pounds. So she lost 5 pounds, and then she gained back 3 pounds. Okay? So look at the bottom. It says, these rules are for adding integers with like signs. Okay? So the sum of 2 negative integers is a negative integer. The sum of 2 positive integers is a positive. So if we add 2 negatives, we add the numbers and get a negative number. If we add 2 positive numbers, we add the numbers and it gets a positive sign. Okay? So if I'm adding and I have a negative plus a negative, I'm going to get a negative answer. Okay? If I'm adding a positive number to a positive number, I'm going to get a positive answer. Okay, so I'll just add these together, and I would add these numbers together. And then that tells us which sign they get. Okay, so if you will turn the page to page 344, we're going to do a few examples. And I really like, this book goes into it really slow so we don't have too much. I do apologize. This is math 7, 12.2. There you go. Get the proper work up there. Okay, So an additional example on the next page says -2 plus -1 plus -3. Okay, so I'm adding all negative numbers, so that tells me my answer is going to be a negative number. Then I'm just going to go through and add up the numbers. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. So my answer is -6. Did you see that? Another way, of course, if I get stuck, I can always start at 0 and I can jump -2, -1, -1, 2, 3. Okay, then I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I landed on -6. So I hope that you use the number line method if it's confusing to you. Okay, let's do a couple more in our skill check. Number 1 says -6 plus -7. I'm going to give you just a second. I want you to be working on that one while I write the rest of the problems. Okay, so I hope that you see that your answer needs to be negative because they're both negative, and then we're going to add 6 plus 7, which is 13. We got -13. And 15 plus 8, they're both positive, so we're going to have a positive answer. So 15 plus 8, what is that? 23. Okay, I'm going to swing this board around just a little bit so you can see this problem a little bit better. I have a negative, and a negative, so my answer needs to be negative. And then I'm going to add up these numbers. 4 plus 13 is 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So -22 would be my answer. Okay, if you look at the last skill check, we'll just do number 4 together. -8 plus -3 compared to -6 plus -4. So I want to compare to. Remember, that's greater than, less than, or equal. So I see that I have 2 negatives, so my answer will be -8, 9, 10, 11. Negative and negative, and 6 plus 4 is 10. So now I need to look at these. And my inclination is to say 11 is bigger, but you learned yesterday, right, that we have to think on it on a number line. And I would rather have a -10 in my bank account than a -11. So -10 is greater than -11, or -11 is less than -10. Okay, so let me give you your assignment. Let's start with 3. You can use the number line if you need to. Let's start with number 3 and let's go through 28. So 3 through 28.